This is the lens that every content creator should have in their bag. Why? Because it's a video beast.
That's it. Stop watching this video and go buy it. Come on, go. Huh? You're still there? Then let me tell you why.
Tell me why it ain't nothing but a high.
If you're a YouTuber, filmmaker, or content creator in any niche, you need this lens. And you're about to find out why. And if you think I'm wrong, watch the rest of this video while I prove you're wrong. And I dare you to challenge me on a comment fight down here. After watching a 3000 video reviews on the Sony 70-200 F4 OSS Mark II, all I heard was photos, photos, photos. But I make videos, videos, videos. And this is why I decided to make my own review, to watch it and like it. Yes, the first like on this video was mine. These are the topics we'll cover in this video. You'll find the timestamps in the description. By the way, this isn't the usual lens review. If you hear me say stuff like
Dramatic aberration! Sharp corner to corner! Big natural distortion!
call the police. Come on, how many people do you know that zoom in 2 million% while watching a movie or a pictures to spot these stupid
Chromatic aberrations.
Oh my god, oh my god. Why a 70-200? It's a telephoto lens. If you're not used to this focal length, you'll be surprised how much you need it. Put it on your camera. Get ready to see the world from a completely different perspective. Maybe you have a 16-35 lens or a 24-70. As soon as you put this beast on your camera, you'll get a reach that will allow you to get closer to both people and things. You see the background compressing behind your subjects and melting away. This lens is better than the 70-200 2.8 G Master II. This lens costs $1,700. For an extra $200, I could have gotten myself the faster 70-200 G Master lens, that is 2.8. But if you can afford to put $1,000 on top of this, you can get yourself Sony's king of the 70-200, the 2.8 G Master Mark II, currently priced at $2,800. For many, this will save them $1,000. Which is a good enough reason to grab yourself the 70-200 F4 Mark II. But as you can probably tell, saving $1,000 wasn't my goal. I love camera gear, and I love getting myself the best of the best. That is why I've picked this, instead of the 70-200 f2.8 G Master Mark II. This lens is actually newer than the 70-200 f2.8 Mark II brother. It focuses as fast as that lens. I didn't notice any difference in sharpness or loss in quality. Actually, all new lenses nowadays are disgustingly sharp. I often mount a mist filter to make my images softer and dreamy. On the contrary, this lens has features that are far more important than the only benefit of getting the 2.8 G Master II, which is one stop of light. On top of everything, its macro capabilities. More on that later. The size and weight. I know that when you zoom to 200mm, this extends wildly, but this isn't how you put it in your camera bag, is it? This is how you put it in your camera bag. And it makes a huge difference if you're traveling a lot and still want to carry a telephoto lens with you. While we are talking weight, this is half a pound lighter than the G Master II. And again, although it's just half a pound, the difference is enormous. I'm a proud owner of the Tamron 35-150 f2.8. The most versatile lens ever. But carrying this for a shooting session, say 2 hours, makes my arms and neck sore. This, I can keep it on my strap all day. Can you put it on a gimbal? You can. You need at least a Ronin RS2 or 3 or something sturdy enough to bear this load. You cannot definitely put it on a DJI RS3 Mini, and you cannot extend or retract the zoom barrel without having to rebalance your gimbal. This isn't the lens I would normally put on a gimbal for running gun shooting sessions, but I would definitely put it on a gimbal if I had a creative shot in mind. The low light stupid argument. Don't even get me started on that. All the newest Sony cameras, and when I say newest, I mean released after 2019, have extraordinary low light capabilities. Personally, I like using prime lenses versus 2.8 zoom lenses when I shoot in the dark. You can definitely feel the difference between a 1.2 lens and a 4.0 lens. Instead, you can easily compensate for an F4 lens by doubling your camera ISO. If you need your ISO to be 800 on a 2.8 lens, you can easily crank it up to 1600 or much higher before you see any noise in your footage. In low light conditions, I would rather use the second base ISO for the picture profile I'm working on. That is ISO 2000 if I'm shooting with picture profile 11 or 12800 if I'm shooting in S-Log 3. Some of you will argue that the 70-200 G Master 2 at f2.8 will have better background separation than the 4.0. And that is true, but is it? When you're shooting with a telephoto lens, you get a ton of background separation, especially at the higher end. Look at this shot. It's night. I'm using the 70-200 F4 Macro OSS MK II, fully extended to 200mm. How much background separation do you need? I don't have the Sony 70-200 f2.8 Mark II to compare it with, but I have a Tamron 35-150, that is f2.8, and a Sony 135 1.8 prime. Let's test these lenses at 135mm at their lowest aperture, adjusting the ISO to match the exposure. Do you see the difference? Because I do. There's a huge difference between the prime 135 and both zoom lenses, but between the 2.8 and 4.0, the difference isn't a deal breaker, or at least definitely not to me. Instead, it would be a deal breaker, at least to me, giving up the tremendous versatility of this lens with its macro feature, the lower weight and size to gain one stop of light. Knowing that in extreme low light conditions for high-end projects, I would use a prime anyway. Why I bought this lens and why I think you should too. Here are my top reasons for considering this lens instead of any telephoto lens. Actually, we can summarize everything in one word only: versatility. This lens is compact, travel-friendly, telephoto, and does macro. Having it in your backpack will make your videos more engaging by adding variety. I'm using it for my A-rolls, talking head shots, and B-rolls. For instance, I'm now talking to a 16mm lens. You'll see plenty of the background and very little separation, which is to be expected at this focal length. Let's now switch to the 70-200mm at 200mm. We'll try to keep the same portion of me in the frame to match the shot we got with the 16mm lens. As you can see, it's like watching something that is completely new. The background is compressed and it's melting behind me. Sometimes you want to reveal the background to show your audience where you're at. Sometimes you may need to hide the background because it may be distracting, or you want your audience to focus 100% on you. Whenever you need to show something or someone that is out of reach, you'll be able to do so. Just take it from your bag to add telephoto range to your shots. And if you need to get closer to showing the details of a product, an insect or a flower, you have a lens that does macro in your hands. Yes, telephoto and macro in the same lens. How cool is that? I am repeating myself, but losing one stop of light in exchange for this kind of versatility and infinite creative possibilities in such a tiny package, it's a no-brainer to me. Who's this lens for? It's easier if I tell you who this lens is not for. If you only shoot videos in tiny rooms and you don't need the awesomeness of macro, then you don't need this lens, nor any telephoto lens. But if you make YouTube videos, especially travel videos, content creators in any niche, even if you are a vlogger, this beast should be your B-roll secret weapon in your kit. The same goes for documentary filmmakers, wedding filmmakers, and cinematographers. I'm into short films and my passion is cinematography. I'm already using this beauty for my latest production, which you'll be able to see here on my channel in a few days. Build quality. build quality is great. The image quality is phenomenal. Of course, I did my research and bought it after watching 3000 YouTube reviews, while making up my mind on this lens versus the G Master Mark II.
Fight!
So, if you're into technical specs and chromatic aberrations, you'll find plenty of materials on the platform. Using a teleconverter. Although I watched this Jared Photos.com video, I also got this 2x telephoto converter that turns this lens into a 140 to 400mm with a f8 fixed aperture. Again, the argument here is sharpness. Apparently, adding this to your telephoto lenses will reduce the overall quality and sharpness. In this test, we took 2 shots with the 2x telephoto converter and without. Then we cropped in 200% on the shot we took without the telephoto converter. What do you think? I see that the image with the telephoto converter is a little bit softer. And I see Jared's point here, but frankly, I'm not returning it. And here's why. There will be situations where you'll want to have that extra reach. Even if you crop your footage in post-production, the telephoto converter makes it much easier to frame your shots. Besides, you can always add sharpness to your images in post-production. Look at this shot of the moon I took a few days ago with the 70-200 F4 Mark II and the 2x telephoto converter. It is very soft, but after applying some sharpness in Premiere Pro, the details are actually there and the image is nice and pleasant. At 200mm without the 2x telephoto converter, I had difficulties getting the right focus. Would I recommend this?
No.
But it's nice to have a tool you can easily carry in your bag. The Cuddle Test. Would this lens make your night warmer? Would you cuddle this? It's definitely cute. It makes me want to take care of it, but it could also be intimidating. Still, the Cuddle Test is a pass, because you can lock the zoom action and make it harmless and lovable. Conclusions. This is the most versatile lens in my kit, and one of the most interesting lenses Sony has ever made. It's priced at $1,700, and I think it's a steal for what it offers and the outstanding performance. Of course, $1,700 is a lot of money, but if you can afford it, you won't regret buying it. That I can promise. Use my affiliate links in the description. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. For sure, I enjoyed making it. I appreciate your time and I'll see you soon.